friends, I'm Benisha, the youth president of Basilica Deanery from St. Patrick's Church. Month of October is observed as a missionary month, a month dedicated to all the missionaries all over the world. The theme the Holy Father has chosen this year is from Acts chapter 4 verse 20. We cannot but speak about what we have seen and heard. In his message for the World Mission Sunday, Pope Francis says, in these days of pandemic, where there is a temptation to disguise and justify indifference and apathy in the name of healthy social distancing, there is an urgent need for the mission of compassion. We are greatly impressed by the activities of the Youth Commission of the Archdiocese of Bangalore. Along with prayers and well-wishers, these young idols of the Youth Commission was there with the needy as missionaries of compassion. Today, we are glad to hear from the key persons of the Youth Commission and the people who were there on the field as missionaries of compassion in times of pandemic. I am very happy to invite them and introduce themselves.
Hello friends, myself Jerry Jokin. I am president of ICYM Bangalore Archdiocese. I am pursuing law. I belong to St. Peter and Paul Church, Rayapuram.
Hi, I'm Nevin Anthony. I'm the ICYM Treasurer of Bangalore Archdiocese. I belong to Church of the Holy Name of Jesus, Rajarajeshwari Nagar, and I'm doing my final year engineering.
Hello friends, I am Father Anil Dissa, a Salesian priest. At the present, I am serving as a secretary to the Youth Commission of the Archdiocese.
Hi friends, I am Father Sampath, belong to the Archdiocese of Bangalore. Currently, I am the Joint Secretary of the ICYM Bangalore. At present, I am the staff at NBCLC, National Center.
Hi friends, this is myself Samson. I'm pursuing my BBA LLB in CMA and I belong to Don Bosco Church in Ladsborough.
Hi friends, this is Sister Angeline, belongs to Sisters of St. Charles Borromeo. Right now, I'm the Lady Animator in the Youth Commission.
I warmly welcome each one of you, and our viewers are eagerly waiting to listen to your daring steps that you have taken in this pandemic. Jerry, we have heard so much about Bangalore youth reaching out to the needy in times of this crisis. Can you tell us what are the things you did and how did you do it?
Those were the times when the entire world was suffering by the pandemic. That's a time when we, as a DEXCO, we were doing lots of online programs, online events. And that's a time we realized we need to reach the people. So one day I got a call from one of my friends. Their family, one person has expired from their family, and they asked me, they asked help for the burial. And that time I don't know what to do. And I called some of the family members, some of the volunteers, and we tried to do the burials. The problem, how they faced, nobody were there, their family members were not able to support them, and even the cemetery people were not able to help them. So that time I took help of some of the volunteers. They helped us and we did the burial, but it was not a dignified burial, and nobody were there to pray for the burial also, for the deceased. So that time it was there, and then I realized that was a God's calling for us as a youths. We should do something with the society. So during that time, Archbishop Peter Machado has invited volunteers for the COVID burials, and he started Here Am I team. Father Santosh was appointed as a director of the Here Am I, and Father Rajesh was an assistant director for the Here Am I team. Then we reached, after that, we reached more than 3,000 families. We did 3,000 burials, and we rushed into the hospitals. We used to pick the body, we used to take the body to the cemetery, and we tried to get a priest for the prayers. And then we did a dignified burials. And the very happy thing is, the volunteers most of them were youths. Around 40 youths helped us to do this burial. They were daring to help the people. This is how we reached the people.
We also heard that you were also feeding the hungry during this pandemic. So how was your experience?
Yes. While doing the burial, we realized the people who were living, they need a food and grocery kits. Many families were suffering like anything. So that time we thought we can help them with some grocery kits. So we took a help of some of the NGOs. They helped us, and we gave grocery kits. Around 1,500 families we reached, giving the grocery kits. But during the burials and all, when we ran around, we used to see the people, those who were homeless people. They were sitting in the streets, and no hotels were opened, and they used to don't get the food. So that time all the youths said, I spoke to Father Anil, youth director, and we discussed, and then we started cooking the food, and we distributed the food to the more than 15,000 families. And the great thing is the youths were the volunteering to cook the food. Around 40 to 50 youths, they used to come every day. They used to cut the vegetables, everything, and we used to clean the food and everything. Then we used to pack, and we used to go and distribute. That gave us a satisfaction. Then we realized that this was God's calling.
That's great, Jerry, because I think this is how Jesus also served the poor. It is called servant leadership. So it was a great, daring step taken by the youth. Okay. Sister Angeline, we heard that 15 sisters from St. Charles congregation had volunteered to work in the COVID wards. Can you tell us how was your experience being near the COVID patients?
Yes, I do believe that every Christian has a missionary call, more so ever as a religious. For us as sisters of St. Charles, our patron, St. Charles Borromeo himself, is a model who had served the people of Milan during the plague. It was our sisters in the hospitals, more than 3/4 of the hospital was just dedicated for the COVID patients, and they were taking care of it. But we were not of the medical field. I had a lot of urge within to serve at this moment of pandemic, but we had no way. I mean, there was no opportunity for us. There was a lot of restrictions, and at that moment, this opportunity, which was began by Father Anil, reaching out as volunteers, gave us a good push to get into. Thanks to our authorities, our provincial and many superiors of different congregations who encouraged us to get into this voluntary work. More than 50 religious, as you said, they were volunteers in the COVID ward. Yes, we were well prepared. We were taking best care of ourselves, of our health. We would go with the full PPE kit to the COVID ward, and we would feed the people who could not eat food by themselves. We would take them to the washrooms, we would change their pampers, we would clean them. Most of the time we listened to them. To tell you shortly that I could be a daughter or a sister to every patient who was present there. It was a human presence that we could give to the patients who were just left out to suffer by themselves due to this pandemic. We did not do a much greater things. A simple thing what we did there in the COVID ward, but there was a lot of personal experiences. Meeting the people every day. We had to meet different people, different situations. To tell you, a particular elderly man who was sinking, was depressed, and was not responding to anything. One of the brothers called me there and said, told that fellow, see, a sister has come to pray for you. Immediately the man opened his eyes, folding his hands, he just started weeping. Just stood with him there for some time. He started talking. He wanted to talk to his son, and we made arrangement. When it turned, it was the look, the look of gratitude which he gave to me. Still, that remains with me, and that was his last night. He was no more. What I want to say is, our presence in the COVID ward really made a difference. A difference made to a few patients maybe, but a lot of difference in our lives. The call which we got, the opportunity which God gave us to be to serve there, had changed the outlook of ourselves as religious, as missionaries. That's what I would say.
Lovely, sister. It was too great because it is not easy to be there because we ourselves, everybody, though many were so scared to go there and to talk to people, or even if there was any cough or any cold, people were scared about it. But still, you sisters took the daring step to go into the hospitals taking care of the patients. I think that was truly with the help of God, and you all are the chosen ones in that. Thank you, sister. So, I think, Nevin, you were one of the active members among the Dexcos throughout, and especially during the pandemic. So, can you tell me what was your experience throughout the course of this activities?
Well, the experience was rather thrilling, especially amidst the pandemic. So, many volunteering activities were initiated by the Youth Commission. I started off with the volunteering activity with helping BMSS, where we started packing the grocery kits from the very first lockdown in 2019. And we were able to touch over 6 lakhs beneficiaries during that very first lockdown. And my work was recognized, and I got an opportunity to work with the BBMP. And later on, I worked with the Public Relations Department of Karnataka, where I spent over 9 months working at different places where it was challenging and during extreme conditions of COVID. At the railway stations, Chikbanavara, Malur, then Majestic bus stands, and accommodation places at VIEC Exhibition Center. So it was rather challenging, and I thought myself whether I could do this. And I had this belief within me that this is where I belong. As a Christian, this is my duty. And moreover, there was encouragement from the commission, there was encouragement from my parents and our parish priest. So this kept me going. And many, like I mentioned, many youth volunteering activities were initiated by the commission. Like our president mentioned, the COVID barriers, and like Sister mentioned, the COVID volunteering has activities at the hospitals. These were rather challenging ones, and it was a daring step taken by the Youth Commission. And to my surprise, hundreds and 200s of volunteers came forward and took up this, where most of us spent our times at homes. But these youth and others who helped them came forward during this tough situation and helped them. So this was also an inspiration for me, and by this we wanted to set an example and inspire more people to come forward and help our fellow beings. So this was the kind of an experience what I had during this period.
We also heard that the youth were making available the oxygen bed and the oxygen and beds available to COVID patients. And you also said that you were in the BBMP working with the government nearly. So how was that experience? How was the situation there?
Well, talking about my work at BBMP, as you know, since it's a government operated, there were not much safety measures provided for us. But there were many number of volunteers who came forward, even coming out of the comfort zone. It's not that easy, and most of us were not even provided with gloves or face shields. We just had given a sanitizer maybe, and sometimes no food. But it was challenging. Yet seeing the happiness of people that we are serving, we sent over 2 lakh migrants through trains and over 1.5 lakh migrants from Bangalore alone to different parts of Karnataka. So that happiness that you could see in their faces when they were leaving the place and reaching somewhere safe, this kept us rolling all the time. And moreover, it was not easy at all, but then something kept us going, and it is definitely the power from the Almighty. Yes.
Great memory. So it was like, even I have seen you a lot in the pictures, and whenever it was updated, I could see so many things that all the youth were doing. So it is a great step taken by all, and God will truly bless this service. One of the longest served COVID warrior and youth volunteer is our Mr. Samson Stephen from Don Bosco Church, Vigrajpura. So Stephen, please tell us, how was your experience?
First of all, thank you, Manishi. So, I'd like to thank Father Anil and my parents and all the support. Once I saw Father Anil's status, and I saw him serving all the COVID patients. So, it inspired me, like, Father is doing so much, let me go and give him a right. So after that, I called father and I literally asked him, Father, I'll be there for him. And he told, all welcome. So I went there. It was a great being there with COVID patients, serving them. And first week when I went there, I thought like first 3 days of my service, I thought I will be back home within 1 week because I was so nervous seeing deaths, seeing like people dying and people who are suffering by COVID without like breathing problem. They used to vomit, like all this. So this made me worried a lot about them. And even I was even nervous because as a student taking this step is not so easy. So, and when I called my parents, Mom, I want to be home. I'm seeing all this. I'm not able to see. And she told like every parent says no to their children when they say I want to go to this kind of service. But my parents said it's doing service for others is like going to serve God. So continue it. So first I would really like to thank them. And whenever I was like down, Father Anil used to guide me in all kind of steps. Like when we were not used to wear mask, he used to tell us please wear mask. Even as a student, everyone doesn't follow the rules. So it was a great companion. We had a lot of uh, people working with me in hospitals. I've been through many hospitals, Martha's, Philomena's, and it's been like 2 months I've been working there. So, like, and one more reason what me pulled out without quitting is one of my youth member, Don Bosco youth member, he's just 23, 22 years old, and he died because of COVID, and he was very close to me, and that made me like, we have to not give more deaths, we have to save lives. So that even inspired me a lot. So this was not just a thing where it was a war between us and the COVID. So we fought and we are still fighting for it. So yeah, thank you.
Great, son. I think you said you saw it through Father Anil's status.
Yeah.
So I think that shows an example of how social media can be, a turning point in someone's life also. Because at times when we don't use social media for the right purpose, we miss out on certain things. So social media, when used in the right purpose, it could definitely save lives in your case. And also you said that your parents supported you. So we have parents where they told us not to go outside at these times, but I think faith formation begins at home first. So that was great. So I appreciate your parents in this platform because that is a great support from them because we know them from childhood, and when they give the support, I think the biggest strength comes from there. That was great. Thank you. So these days we see a lot of youth activities happening in various deaneries of our archdiocese. So I see Father Sampath also being very active and leading the young people. Father, what are these deaneries activities and can you tell us about this?
Well, in Archdiocese we have 128 parishes as well as 8 mission places. As I was doing my research work, reaching out to all the places, especially when Father told me that we are having the deanery meetings and then we start our reaching out program. I said, okay, Father, I'm there with you for all the deaneries. When we took up some of the nearby parishes, more than that, the far places had a more impact on me. For example, Kolar, what I admire is each parish 30 to 40 kilometers or 20 kilometers away, but all the youth responded well. 4 to 5, some places 6 came, and some places 2, little late they came. But when they all came, never said that we journeyed, we are tired or anything. He was so active, dynamic, they took part in that. And then everyone was speaking English. I'm surprised. I was thinking that maybe the far places, rural places, they speak only in Kannada or maybe their own mother tongues. But I'm surprised is they all talked in English and then well communicated, and then it really touched me a lot. And then when I asked them, they're all doing college going girls and boys. They never minded whether they're rural or the urban. They're all so much involved in that. That really opened my eyes, saying that so far I thought that only the city places the youth are active, but no. So that made me to correct myself, and then that inspired me also. So when we had the ice breaking and then talking to them, and really they had a more vision than what the youngsters supposed to have. And then they have said, we are ready to work, we are ready to give our life. I mean, they have the foresight of the thing. And really that inspired me a lot. And secondly, when we place the responsibilities, each deanery to be the president, vice president, treasurer, they all came forward. They said, we'll do, Father. You give us any work, we are there, we assure our support, and then the presence. Really that touched us and that made us. And at this moment, I thank Father Anil also. He's taken a lot of initiative. We used to go and then meet all the youngsters. I think we have already reached out 7 to 8 deaneries, and I have yet to cover up other deaneries. And one day we are having the leadership camp, and then hopes of that in the future days to come, once the pandemic lessens, and then we'll have more youth activities, and then the youngsters are with a zeal, they want to reach out, and they want to participate, and they want to tell out the people that what we are being called in the name of Christ. So that inspired me, and then that strengthens me also. I'm happy that all these years being with the youngsters and these pandemic situations, that inspired me to do more than that. So that
Thank you, Father. It is truly when at times when the youth want to come up, there are some barriers and restrictions even in churches through priests. But to see the priests coming up and taking up so many activities and calling the youth actually inspires the youth to come in. So this is like a two-way traffic where you can communicate and do it well. So thank you, Father. And finally, I come to Father Anil. So Father, you are in the driver's seat of the Youth Commission. So what is your experience being a missionary?
Yes, thank you, Benisha, and it is very challenging to be at the driver's seat because you become responsible for the whole bus, whatever the vehicle is, and that is the Youth Commission. And all that we accomplished, it was possible because of the support of all my collaborators, the Youth Commission, the Archdiocese as a whole, because of the support of Archbishop, and all the priests of the parishes and the deaneries, as Father Sampath mentioned. There was very good support from every deanery, and especially the deans, and they have also appointed youth directors in each of the deanery. So it was possible because of the support of each other. And the missionary is the one who is sent, and we read in the Gospels, Jesus sending the disciples out, and he says, do not take staff or extra tunic or purse and all that, because God will take care of you. And that was my experience in this short time of 1.5 years here in the Archdiocese, in charge of the Youth Commission. A lot of activities were initiated by our young people, and especially the COVID burial and the serving of the food to the needy, the grocery kit to the needy, and also we served medical kits. About 600 medical kits were served with the help of Don Bosco breads. And many other things we have done it. Of course, serving in the hospital, another great step that the Youth Commission was taken. And it all happened because of the support of each other. And all this has happened because the Lord provided. Lord provided through various persons. And if we put together, it is about 50 to 60 lakhs worth work that we have done only for the 2 months. Of course, our president was leading us by example, the day one onwards, with the help of the youth volunteers, youth leaders, the ICYM DESCO members, leading by example. They done it, and my intervention only in the last 1 year or just 2 months, especially when we reached out to the COVID patients and others. But the Lord has provided to various persons. Accommodation was given to us in Chameleon Fathers, and they were the ones who started this mission, taking care of the sick with the COVID patients. That was a big example for us, and they provided us a free transportation, food, accommodation. And another month in Dharmaram College, they gave us food and accommodation, and all the other facilities were provided by Don Bosco Provincial House and other NGOs like St. Joseph's College gave us other medical aid. So many people contributed, and some of our young people who couldn't be there to serve, they used to send us some fruits and some snacks and all that. So that was something encouraging. I believe that Jesus' words came true. That is, the missionaries, one who is sent out, will be provided. And when we do the Lord's work, God's protection is there. And as Nevin had already mentioned, so many young people served and none of them were affected. Of course, one of our youngsters was affected. He was not a volunteer, as Sam had told us. He was not a volunteer, but active member in the parish. He contracted COVID, and unfortunately, we lost him. Very active member. That's also as another inspiration for us. No more like deaths should happen. We should be there to take care of them. So that's what we did. So again and again, I stress this point. If we do God's work, if we do anything for the glory of God, God will provide. And that has been my experience. And even now, having so many activities, in spite of pandemic, things are going on so well. Of course, there are oppositions, there are challenges, but God provides, and God sees that everything is all right. We were able to have in 7 deaneries the youth leaders meeting, and then we are culminating with the diocesan level youth leaders meeting, where there will be about 300 young people and the animators. That's going to be something great. And from then onwards, then we would like to have a network of all the parishes and deaneries, and would like to make this Archdiocese of Bangalore vibrant with the youth activity. And it is possible with the help of and support of all our viewers, all the Archdiocesan Catholics. If we could support the Youth Commission and the whole of Archdiocese, surely we can do the Lord's work. And that way, we can be missionaries.
So what are the future plans for the Youth Commission, Father?
Yes, a lot of future plans are there. Now at present, we are doing something called a cloth bank. When we went around, we realized that the poor people do not have clothes because of the pandemic. People don't have money. So that's where one of the NGOs called Imagine, they started a cloth bank, and our volunteers used to go there in segregating clothes. And then we took inspiration from them. Why not we do it in different parishes? And that's where we have started in Don Bosco Church in Lingarajapuram, and we have collection centers in St. Charles School, and in Don Bosco Provincial House, also youth office. So, and then we also, while serving in the hospital, we saw not many patients require blood, and young people are the one who can donate blood. And I myself have done in my life 40 times the blood donation, and the next month I'm going to give, that will be the 41st. That way, young people surely can give, and they are healthy. And by donating blood, we in fact become healthy. We don't lose our health. In other dioceses, they already have a well set up like apps, and well network is there. So something that we also can do. We have a lot of resources here. A lot of young people are there. Good. Willing to donate people are there. So we could have a network of blood donors. That's the one. And then we also would like to have each one teach one. We had different campaigns during the past 1 year. For example, we had each one teach one campaign. That is the the students require materials, study materials. These days maybe mobile and the laptop and all that. Even if we are not able to provide for everyone, if we are able to provide at least to 2-3 people, that is something great. And that's what we have done. And another month we had an activity or campaign called Each One Plant One. So that is concern for the environment. That way we were able to plant about 3,000 plants in the month of April. And then we said each one help one. In the month of May, the month of Saint Joseph, is the one who silently helped the help in bringing up. So that way we thought we also can help one in our own parishes. Then we had another campaign called Each One Feed One, as already Jerry, our president, mentioned. We were able to serve about 15,000 people cooked a meal, and it was wonderful to see Jerry himself cooking, and he's expert cook himself cooking and serving the food. So that way, that is another campaign we had, and like that several one. Then now at present, as I said, each one clothe one, so a cloth bank. And then we also would like to initiate youth volunteering for a cause, mainly for cloth bank, blood bank, in the hospitals, not that the COVID hospital, even otherwise, weekends, spend your 2-3 hours for the Lord, and that way you can be missionaries. So that is the one initiative we thought. And also, our young people today need a job. Many have lost a job, many are jobless, they're still aspiring to get a job. That's where we would like to have a job placement cell. So these are the initiatives, and we would like to do all this networking with every commission, networking with the parishes, the like-minded people, NGOs. That way together each can achieve more. So it is a teamwork. So these are all plans, and many more plans are there. We need your prayers, your support, and your good wishes.
Great, Father. I'm glad to hear so many activities, and I think it's going to be a holistic development for every youth who's going to be a part of these activities. So as you have said, our prayers and support will always be there for the youth, because it is going to be, the youth are the future of the nation, not just the Christianity, but the nation entirely. So it is going to be a great thing. Thank you, Father. So Pope Francis, speaking about Mission Sunday, said, "We have experienced discouragement, disillusionment, and fatigue, nor have we been immune from a growing negativity that stifles hope. Nevertheless," he said, "the resurrection of Jesus still proclaims a powerful message of life. As Youth Commission, you all have been the missionaries in action and instilled hope in people. You have a huge task ahead of you to lead the youth of Archdiocese. May the Lord guide you and strengthen each one of you with the Holy Spirit as he guided his apostles, the first missionaries. God bless you all your plans and all your endeavors. On behalf of His Grace, our beloved Archbishop, the social communication team, I congratulate each one of you for all your achievements and thank you from the bottom of my heart for your dedication and commitment during this time. Thank you all.